Good morning. Today's topic is resistive transducers. Okay, resistive transducers. So, in the last classes, we have seen the classification of transducers, right? So, so this first classification we are going to study in detail. In my last class, we have seen about uh, capacitor transducers and various applications in which we use capacitor transducers and advantages of capacitor transducers, principle of operation of capacitor transducers, disadvantages of capacitor transducers, likewise so on, so on, so on. So today we're going to deal about resistive type transducers. Resistive type transducers. Okay. So what is a resistive transducer? What is a resistive transducer? What is a resistive transducer? Resistive transducer means a sensor or a transducer or element which converts one form of energy into another form of energy by using a resistive principle. If a sensor converts energy from one form to another form by using resistance, by using resistive principle, then it is called resistive transducers. Okay, of course, I had done a mistake here. The spelling of transducer, TRANS transducer, spelling tappamma idi, right? Spelling is TRANSDUCERS. Okay, transducers, right? So, so these resistive transducers work on a principle of change in resistance. So what is the uh, formula for resistance? R equal to R equal to R equal to rho L by A. R equal to rho L by A. Okay, ఇక్కడ నుంచి చూడండి అమ్మా ఇక్కడ అర్థమవుతుంది మీకు ఈజీగా. So R equal to rho L by A. So what is rho here? Rho here is resistivity. This is rho, not P, right? This is rho. So rho here is resistivity, and L here is length of the conductor or a semiconductor. Okay, length of the material, let us suppose, right? And A is the area of cross section. Area of cross section. So when this resistance will vary, when this resistance will vary, the resistance will vary. The, the resistance will vary if any one of these terms varies. Okay, when any one of these terms vary, the resistance will vary. So rho L by A. Rho here is resistivity, L length of the semiconductor, A cross-sectional area. Generally, rho doesn't vary. Rho doesn't vary. For a given material, rho is a constant. Okay, rho doesn't vary. But in some cases, rho may vary. Okay, and the first condition is if the material is contaminated, then rho varies, right? The value of rho varies in accordance with contamination. Means ఇప్పుడు ఏమన్నా ఒక మెటీరియల్ అనేది కంటామినేట్ అయితే మీన్స్ తుప్పు పట్టిన లేకపోతే కిలుం పట్టిన లేకపోతే ఇఫ్ ఇట్ రియాక్ట్ విత్ ఎనీ అదర్ సబ్స్టెన్స్, if a material react with any substance or a gas, then resistivity rho may vary. And sometimes rho may vary due to variation in temperature. Okay, and L length of the material. Length of the material varies under several conditions like stress, strain, force, temperature, so on, so on, so on. and A also may vary due to these following conditions, right? So, so resistance of a material varies if any one of these materials are these parameters rho L A varies, then resistance rho will vary. So if a transducer if a transducer works on a principle of change in resistance, then it is called resistive transducer. Okay, it is called resistive transducer. So, so how how it will vary? How resistance will vary? How resistance will vary? Okay, and what are the applications of these resistive transducers? Okay, means resistive transducers are used to measure liquid level. Okay, to measure displacements much more, and they're also used to measure temperature. They also used to measure flow rate. They're also used to measure very low pressures, etc., etc., etc. Right? So these transducers will vary. These transducers will vary depending upon several conditions. Okay, several conditions. So let us suppose, oh, where it is, right. So let us suppose I'm taking one application here. I'm taking one application here. I want to measure a liquid level. Okay. Of course, the diagram is not correct, in my opinion, but the concept is right. Okay. I want to convey correct concept, but the diagram may be differ. Diagram may differ, right? So I'm using a tank here. I'm using a tank here, right? ఈ ట్యాంక్ ఇక్కడ ఒక పైప్ ఉందండి. ఇక్కడ పైప్ ఉంది. పైప్ లో వాటర్ ఫ్లో అవుతున్నాయి. పైప్ లో వాటర్ ఫ్లో అవుతున్నాయి ఇలాగా. ఓకే. So what is flowing here? Now I want to control the liquid level of a tank. Control the liquid level of a tank, right? What I will do is I will place a resistor here. I will place a resistor here. This is another resistance. This is another resistance. This is another resistance, and this is another resistance. Okay. Likewise, I'm using here. Likewise, I'm using here, and I'm placing the resistance leads at different heights. I'm placing resistance leads at different heights. Means this is a resistor. This is another resistor. This is another resistor. This is another resistor. This is another resistor. Of course, the diagram is wrong. I'm not sure, but the concept which I want to convey is right. Okay. So okay. Now these are leads. These are leads which are placed on different heights in a tank. Okay. And this is the minimum level of a tank. This is the minimum level of a tank, right? This is the minimum level of a tank, right? And let us suppose this is the maximum level of a tank. This is the maximum level of a tank. Maximum level. Maximum level of a tank. Oh, maximum spelling wrong. MAX, right? So this is the maximum level of a tank. This is the maximum level of a tank. Okay. Now I want to control Now I want to control liquid level in a tank, okay, by using resistive principle. By using resistive principle. Oh, okay, let us suppose this is a motor. Okay, this is a motor M, right? This is a motor M, and I am giving supply to it, and output of motor is fed to this pipe. Output of motor is fed to this pipe. Okay, output of motor is fed to this pipe, and make sure that uh, the speed of motor is controlled by these resistances. Okay, right? So these resistances are connected here. Okay, and this is ground. The resistances are connected here. Maybe the diagram is wrong, but the concept is correct, right? So what I am doing is, I what I am doing is, right? This is the voltage supply. This is the voltage supply, right? This is the voltage supply, and I am giving the output of, and I'm giving voltage to this motor, okay, I'm giving voltage to this motor, and here there is one regulator. There is a regulator here, right? This is a regulator here. There is a regulator here, resistive regulator. This is resistive regulator R. The value of R depends on these things. Okay, this thing, right? So this is R here. There is R here. I am attaching R here. Okay. So what will happen when there is no water? When there is no water in the tank, then resistance in this loop, resistance in this loop is zero, very low resistance. So total current flows through the motor. So motor will rotate with a high speed. And water is flowing into the tank. Okay. And now water level raised to this point. So what is happening? See here, the tank is insulated and it is grounded. Right? Here water acts as a conductor. Right? One end of this resistor is connected to this resistive network, and other end is open till now. But what is happening now? As the water is dropping into the tank, see here, it is making a short circuit here. It is ground. Short circuited. It is becoming a short circuit here. Means a closed loop it is forming now. Now it is forming a closed loop now. Then what will happen? This resistance R is added in the network. So what will happen? Current drops. Okay. So what will happen? Current reduces. So if current reduces, then what about flux? Flux will reduce. So what will happen? Motor rotate with less speed. Means now the motor runs with high speed, but comparing to previous condition, now the motor will rotate somewhat with less speed. Okay. So motor is rotating now, and water is pumping into this tank. So now the water level is raised till here. Water level is raised till here. Okay. So what will happen? This is R and this is R. Another R means now the resistance, more resistance is added to the network. Okay. It is becoming a short circuit path now. It is becoming a short circuit path now. This is ground now. This is ground. So it is becoming a short circuit path now. So what is happening? More resistance R plus R, 2R is added here. So what will happen? More amount of resistance is added to the circuit such that what about current? What about current I? What about current I? Current I reduces. Current I reduces. Okay. When current I reduces, then what will happen? Flux ఇంకా తగ్గిపోతుంది. Flux reduces a lot. Flux also reduces a lot. So what will happen? If flux reduces, flux linkage reduces. Nana Godzilla. When flux reduces, flux linkage reduces. When the flux linkage reduces, what will happen? Water flow reduces. Now water is pouring into tank and this is the level obtained now. So R plus R plus R, 3R is going to add it to this network. So I reduces much more. I reduces much more. When current reduces much more, when current reduces much more, what will happen? Flux linkage reduces much more. So motor will rotate with low speed and water flow reduces. Water flow reduces. If if the level rises up to this point, if the level rises up to this point means maximum point. If the level reduces, if the level increases to a maximum point, if the level increases to a maximum point, okay, then what will happen? Resistance R reduces, resistance R increases much more. Resistance R increases much more. R plus R plus R plus R plus R, 5R means maximum resistance is added to the network such that what will happen? Current drastically decreases. Current drastically decreases as resistance is increased to a high range. So what will happen? The motor eventually stop rotating and water level reduces, water flow reduces to zero. So tank level is high now. So I am controlling the level of tank. I am controlling level of tank by varying the resistances. By varying the resistances. Okay, by varying the resistances. If resistance decreases, what will happen? Then again current increases. When current increases, what will happen? Flux linkage increases. Motor will rotate and again the water will flow into the tank. Again the water will flow into the tank. Okay. So here I am measuring liquid level or I am controlling liquid level by changing resistances here. By changing resistances here. So what is the principle involved? So what is the principle involved here? The principle involved here is change in resistance. So I can control or I can measure liquid level in the tank by changing the resistances, by varying the resistances, by varying the resistances. Okay. So this transducer uses resistive principle, change in resistance to control liquid level. So this is a resistive transducer. So this is a resistive transducer. Okay. Lateral entry 208. ఏం చేస్తున్నావు నువ్వు? So this is example for ratio transitive cell. Okay, let us suppose we'll take another example. Okay, another example. Mm, what shall we take? What shall we take? Mm, let us suppose I want to measure a flow, liquid flow or air flow, something. Liquid flow or air flow, something I want to measure. Okay, so let us suppose this is a resistor, this is a resistor, this is another resistor, right? And this is another resistor, another resistor which is supplied as a heater element for me. This is a heater element. Okay, the impedance Z of heater is equal to impedance Z of this resistance, Z of this resistance, Z of this resistance. Means Z1 equal to Z2 equal to Z3 equal to Z4, let us suppose. Okay, and here I am applying a volt. I am using a meter here, and here I am applying a voltage source. Voltage source V. Okay, now the heater is heated. The heater is heated. Okay, now Z3 is the resistance, sorry, Z3 is the impedance of this heater when it is heated. When it is heated, means Z3 is the impedance of this heater. Okay, when it is heated. Okay, it is equal to Z2, equal to Z1, equal to Z4. Then bridge is balanced, and here I don't get any volt current here in the meter. In the meter. Okay. Now what I am doing is, I am placing this. I am placing this uh, heater element having resistance Z3, impedance Z3 into a chamber whose pressure I want to, whose flow rate, air flow rate I want to measure, whose air flow rate I want to measure. Okay, so I will ask you one question, right? When the object, when the object uh, loses its temperature, when air is blown over it, means one thing, if the airflow, if the airflow is high, if the airflow, if the airflow is high, okay, let us suppose if the airflow, if FLOW kada, right, if the airflow is high, then what will happen? The hot object loses its temperature faster. If airflow is low, if airflow is low, then it will take more time for the hot source to lose its temperature. Is it right? Okay. Now I want to measure airflow. I want to measure airflow in a chamber. So this is the chamber. This is the chamber, right? This is the chamber. What I am doing is I want to measure airflow. I want to measure airflow. So I am introducing this hot element, heater element into this chamber whose airflow I want to measure. Then if airflow is high, then this heater element cools down. So when the temperature is low, what will happen? R equal to rho L by A. if the temperature reduces, then what will happen? Resistance also reduces. Resistance also reduces. Why? Because all metals expand on heating. So if the temperature reduces, what will happen? Length of the material will reduce. So what will happen? Resistance will be reduced. If the resistance reduces, what will happen? Z3 will vary. Z3 will vary. If Z3 varies, then bridge is not in balanced condition. Previously, Z1, Z1, Z3, Z1, Z3 equal to Z2, Z4 equal to Z2, Z4. It is the balancing condition. Okay, Z1, Z3 equal to Z2, Z4. Z1, Z3 equal to Z2, Z4. It's a balancing condition. Now what is happening? Due to the changes in temperature, resistance of material is reducing. Z3 is reducing. Then Z1, Z3 is not equal to Z2, Z4. Then what will happen? The current in the meter will induce. Right? The amount of current in the meter, the amount of current in the meter current I is a measure of flow rate of air here. So how I am measuring flow rate of air? By changing resistance of material. By changing resistance of the material. So it is example for a resistive transducer. Okay. Is it clear for you? Is it clear for you? Everyone?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now? Is it clear for you?
Yes, sir.
So maybe into 3 or 4 minutes, remaining time 6 minutes. Huh? Okay, right. Then again I am sharing here. I will try to cover another point. Okay, so this example for resistive transducers, right? So one of the mostly used resistive transducers is potentiometer. Is the potentiometer, right? We have already seen in your NT lab, NA lab, and also electrical machines lab. Okay, is the potentiometer, right? This is called mandrel. Okay, this is called mandrel. On the mandrel, you can see that some wire is wounded. Some resistive metallic wire is wounded on this mandrel. Okay, on this mandrel. So, and I have some wiper also placed on the mandrel, right? The position of wiper gives me the resistance of the potentiometer. Okay, let us suppose the total length of this potentiometer is, let us suppose it is 10 centimeters. Okay, it is 10 centimeters anukuntunam, for example, right? And 10 centimeters. And let us suppose total resistance of the potentiometer is 10 kilo ohm. Is 10 kilo ohm. So now for a potentiometer, resistance must be linearly spread. Resistance must be linearly spread. Means resistance per unit area must be constant. Means, for example, length of potentiometer is 10 centimeters and the resistance of the potentiometer is 10 kilo ohms. So if I place this wiper in 5 centimeters position, exactly middle way of the potentiometer, then what it means? What it means? What is the value of resistance here? 5 kilo ohms is the value of resistance. Means 10 for 10 centimeter total scale, for 10 centimeter total length, for 10 centimeter total length is 10 centimeter, right? For 10 centimeter total length, resistance is 10k. Resistance is 10k. Then if I place this potentiometer wiper at 1 centimeter position, what must be the value of resistance? 1 centimeter into 10k by 10 centimeters. అంతే కదా 1 centimeter 1 centimeter 1 centimeter. So it is equal to 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter into 10k. Okay, 10k 10k divided by 10 centimeter. So what is happening? Divided by kada ikkada, right? Divided by 10 centimeter. So what's happened here? Centimeter gets cancelled. 10 becomes cancelled. 1 into k 1k. So 1 centimeter, the resistance is 1k. For 2 centimeters position of wiper, it is 2k. For 3
Huh?
centimeters position of wiper, it is
Kill
3k.
word.
Okay, likewise resistance is linearly spread in the potentiometer. Okay, it is of two types, right? First one is linear potentiometer and second one is rotary potentiometer, right? And also there are two types also, Weirwood potentiometer and next one is continuous potentiometer. So there are four types of potentiometers, right? And we will cover this topic in our next class. Okay, next class I'm going to tell the potentiometers, and the most important topic which we have to cover is this thermistors, thermocouples, and RTDs. Thermistors, thermocouples, and RTDs are the resistive sensors which we are going to use to measure temperature and also some other industrial parameters, physical parameters like speed, velocity, acceleration, torque, rotation, velocity, humidity, damping, moisture, speed, likewise. Okay, so this is all for today. Is there any doubts for you? Are there any doubts?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, then shall we wind up?
Yes, sir.
Then what about material? Is there any material available for you?
PDF.
Okay, do you have PDF?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then if you want any material, ask me, then I will provide you. Okay. Right.